the debate generally, madam, has strayed beyond the scope of the report of the committee. In fact, it has almost been a general resume of the work of this House for the past 12 years of the opportunities we have had or of the opportunities we could have had, and that sort of thing. Although many members have touched on many points, still amendments have been tabled only on a few of the rules. But I do not mean to say that their references to the several points are not quite relevant. Certainly, they are relevant and they are very useful suggestions. In fact, this debate has been very valuable in throwing much light on the report of this committee. There is no time at my disposal, so I will very briefly cover some of the points which need reply. Of course, many points do need reply, but I will take some points which are very relevant and reply very briefly. Before going to that, I would mention that there was a very factual error committed by one of the honorable members when he said that although we were revising our rules at this late stage, still we had an advantage over the other house which had not yet done this work. It is not correct. The other house had adopted the rules under Article 118 on the 22nd December 2006, and later on also the other house had modified those rules. One or two modifications were adopted next year, so that is not factually correct. Now, much of the criticism or suggestion or discussion has centered round the subject of questions. About questions, three parts have been made: admissibility of questions or rejection of questions, answering questions, and then the various clauses that determine the nature of questions. These are the three aspects on which several members have made remarks. Now, with regard to admissibility, several members have cast some reflection on the Secretariat. Well, the Secretariat can only go by the rules, by the conditions prescribed here. Unless we say that these conditions and qualifications for a question should not be there, I do not think we can blame the Secretariat. You will remember, Madam Deputy Chairman, that I was one of those who were putting many questions, and I also had the misfortune to have many of my questions rejected. It is true, as many of the honorable members have said, that questions which have been rejected on one ground have been admitted again on the same ground. It has happened like that, but that depends upon the particular person handling the question and his interpretation put upon that. However much we may put down these rules, however much a foolproof framework we can devise for the guidance of those who have got to function and deal with these questions. Still, there is the subjective element which we cannot avoid, and it is a matter of interpretation. Therefore, we should not blame the Secretariat because nobody can say that they do it with any malified intention. All that we can say is they can exercise their judgment either wrongly or correctly or indifferently. So it is open to every member when he feels that his question ought not to have been rejected to go to the Secretariat, sit with the concerned section and then discuss with them. That was what I was doing. That is what many of the members have been doing. Then, after a discussion, either the person understands that his interpretation was wrong or he convinces us that his interpretation was right and that the question as the rule is framed cannot be admitted. It must be realized that the admissibility or rejection of questions is in the name of the chairman. Although one section of the Secretariat handles the questions, still it is done in the name of the chairman. So it is not correct propriety to bring the Secretariat into question here. The remedy is open to us to go to them and discuss with them. But the disappointment is there. I have also had that disappointment. It is true that when in one house or one ground a question is rejected, in another house on the same ground that question is accepted. It has happened like that. But there can be no remedy except going there and having a personal discussion. With regard to the second point, that is answering questions, I think some remarks have been made attributing a sort of motive to the ministers. Madam Deputy Chairman, I would humbly like to submit that we should not question the bona fides of the government. If we begin to question the bona fides of the government, there can be no end to it and we cannot carry on. A minister may be acting malified, we must take it that he is acting bona fide. He is not infallible and the Secretariat which furnishes him with answers is also not infallible. The job of the Indian Medical Council should be to point out the lacuna and to get the improvements effected, and for that purpose the modular committee has suggested the appointment of a quinquennial commission to go into the question of medical education as a whole. The modular committee has also commented upon the manner in which the inspectors of medical council are appointed. They have suggested that the inspecting body should consist of educationists representing the Union Ministry of Health, representative of the university concerned, and 3 experts nominated by the medical council. They have said that the persons so chosen should be of at least 10 years standing. They want that senior persons should go for inspection, and they want that the term of the inspectors should be between 3 to 5 years, so that there is uniformity in inspection in the manner in which the institutions are to be upgraded, how they are to be improved upon, etc. The last one deals with medical ethics. As far as that part is concerned, I would like to say that it is the medical profession itself which can maintain ethical standards which are going down or which have gone down. ये 1050 वर्ड है, 100 की स्पीड है. 171 और 172 से बोला गया केसेस है. 80 के आसपास लिखेंगे आप कंटेंट, 80-90 के आसपास.